129 strikeouts, a big part of her game.
Underway on our Super Regional weekend. First of our doubleheader tonight, all day tomorrow, all day Saturday. And perhaps a bunch of, if necessary, game threes on Sunday. Sooners are the 2 seed in the tournament for the first time in 4 years. That's because Texas took the top spot. They open up with Texas A&M tomorrow night on ESPN2 as Kaylee Mudge steps in to lead things off. One of the 3 seniors in this starting lineup. Such a huge part of their success with a record of 207 wins against 45 losses. In the NCAA post, a regional sweep of Chattanooga, UCF, and Auburn, and they have the leadoff Mudge aboard.
Both of these programs offensively know how to take walks. 230 walks coming into today's game for Florida State.
Yeah, they're number 1 and number 3 in the country. The Sooners in the top spot, and here is Beecham. A local out of Tallahassee who grew up a Florida State camper. And the ball gets away from Hansen, and a runner immediately in scoring position. A pass ball for the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's a very rare. She's only had 9 on the season. Definitely a catchable ball that gets away here early. And for Kelly Maxwell, 5 straight balls as well.
5 straight balls, and at some point going out, having to wonder if she was crossed up a little bit, on which she was. You could see Hansen was going inside, that pitch on the outside.
Even though they're both upper class, obviously, Maxwell, her first year with Oklahoma after transferring in from Oklahoma State. And immediately an RBI chance here for Beecham. Jason, he was 2 for 9 with 1 RBI in the regionals last week.
Jason, her back foot. We saw this with Mudge as well. She's making sure that she is literally stepping on the line back of the box. She wants to let that ball travel as much as possible. She hits lefties very well.
Maxwell stays on the outside edge of the plate, and that will fall in foul territory.
I think the biggest thing, too, for Beecham, and the reason why she hits lefties so well is, and Smitty, you know this, as a left-handed pitcher, they try to get in on her hands. She has such a great job of staying inside out of the ball, but where she struggled last weekend is they threw her all away. And you saw in that last pitch that was outside, she had to reach for it.
2-2 to Beecham. Fouls another one off. Big thing to watch for Florida State. Their freshmen have been so instrumental in their success. How do they continue to handle the pressure as it mounts? Every game becomes the most important in their young careers. Full count. Conversely, for all the seniors on these 2 rosters, how do you handle the emotion of knowing you may be playing your last weekend of college softball?
Absolutely. It's a big part of it, keeping all that in check while performing at your highest level.
Full count. Beecham pops it up to Alyssa Burito. 1 down.
Well, Kelly Maxwell is really going to use the down ball, much so this year than she did last year. A lot of drop and changeup, and that's what should get you to chase. She's been known more for curve and up in the zone, but this year using a lot of that down ball. She's helped induce some more changeups. Big key for Maxwell, though, is going to make sure that she's around the zone. She's a lot more down and mix, as we just showed, but it's that high whiff and chase rate that makes her one of the best in the business.
Up and in to Kaylee Harding. Knowles are going to need her bat, and it's been a hot one. In her last 10 games, 4 home runs and 11 runs batted in for the senior from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. drove in 4 runs in the regional. Maxwell catches the outside corner. Chelsea Clark is behind the plate tonight. Tom Meyer at first, Steve Gould at second, Dustin Douglas at third.
And that's the pitch that's going to be important for Kelly, trying to work that outside curveball, or what we like to call a backdoor curveball, where she's going to try to throw it in the river and really hit the backside of the strike zone, bend that ball back into the zone after being outside.
You see the pitch clock off there to the left if you're new to the postseason. 20 seconds between pitches for both the pitcher and the batter to get ready and get going. Mudge with the walk, now down at second. 2-2 from Maxwell.
And that's why, Smitty, we're seeing all the hitters so far back in the boxes. They're trying to wait for that curveball to come back over the plate. The whole point of the backdoor is by the time you start your swing, that thing is a ball. But they're trying to catch it as it comes back over the plate by getting back in that box.
Yeah, and that's where you have to hit that pitch. You really have to let your bat head almost lag, so you're trying to go opposite field as a righty.
Harding fends another one off. Even though Maxwell was not with Oklahoma last year, playing at Oklahoma State, they did have a series against Florida State. So some of the older players for the Seminoles are familiar with Kelly. Of course, with analytics and video these days, there's no secrets anymore anyways. Down the line, and that one will get out of play as well.
Great at bat right now from Harding. Tell she's not as comfortable with that pitch, but she is comfortable wasting it to get one that is more over the plate.
There you see the numbers last year. They had some problems against Maxwell in their series during the regular season. And another full count for a Seminole batter. 3 in a row here to start out, or 3 ball counts at least. Ground ball, kept in the infield by Jennings, and the throw to third to apply the tag on Mudge. Second out, gets the runner, trying to sneak over to third.
Tiare Jennings, one of the best shortstops in the game, doesn't always get the credit because Grace Lyons was there the last 3 years, and Jennings was over at second base. Look at the way she goes in the 5-6 hole, and she knows her only play is over to Burito at third base. That is a huge clutch play, and honestly, a base running mistake by Kaylee Mudge.
We know they're aggressive. We know they try and take that extra base, but that one to the left side, I think you're right, Smitty. She would not have had a chance to get the out at first. So now with 2 outs, a runner at first base for FSU. Jen Rocha out to talk with Maxwell, and Nicole May, one of the other pitchers, just ran out there. It's a very muggy night, so perspiration is an issue. She ran out and gave her the chalk, the rosin bag.
Kelly has been known to sweat a lot, like a lot of us pitchers do.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes even on a hot night like this, you're wearing sleeves to try to just keep that perspiration out of the palm of your hand. It absolutely affects your grip on the ball.
Yeah, it is 84 degrees, high humidity. There is some weather as well in and around Norman, Oklahoma, as is often the case this time of year. And here's Michaela Edenfield, the starting catcher out of Sneads, Florida. Michaela hit 500 with a home run in the regional last week and has a 5-game hitting streak coming in.
Another hitter that does very well against lefties. Inside out swing that she has.
Strike at the letters. FSU was good hitting with 2 outs last weekend.
Hansen's doing a nice job behind the plate right now because there's a few of those she's setting up inside and the ball's actually ending up way away.
Three and one.
Off-speed curveball that Kelly Maxwell likes to throw. It's been non-competitive in this inning. She finds that it makes her life a lot easier.
Big pitch count. Again, 4 straight 3-ball counts to open up the game.
A big leveraged 3-1 count here for Edenfield.
That was the pitch. 3-1, you're hunting something over the plate. Michaela Edenfield, that's why she's taking a little bit longer down the line right now, because she knows that was the pitch. You want to drive something out of here? Maxwell just gave her a mistake, but it was fouled back.
Full count. Taps that one up top.
A little bit of a smile on Edenfield's face. I think she is feeling lucky that she hit that, because that was off speed and she was way out in front of it.
It was off the top of her bat.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, just thank you.
Well, she plays with such confidence that her coach, Lonnie Alameda, knows one swing from Michaela can change the game. Suffered that finger injury earlier this year, was out 9 games in what she called a moment of frustration, owned up to it. You see the wrap there, took responsibility for her actions, came right back, and started hitting right away again. And draws the walk. Second free pass. And that will bump a Seminole into scoring position for the second time. Here's a look at Lonnie Alameda, 10th Super Regional. She's 5-4 and now is back in her old stomping grounds. She was an all Big 8 performer. Not Big 12, not Big 10. Back in the days of the Big 8 when Smitty was around.
Hey.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Big 8, that's right. And a white ball, white softball back in the day.
40 feet?
No,
No.
she was still at 43.
All right, here's Isa Torres. Another fantastic freshman hit by a pitch. And the bases are loaded. Without a hit in the inning. As Patty Gasso looks on in her 30th season now at Oklahoma with the 7 national championships. So many of those fueled not only by outstanding hitting, but phenomenal pitching as well. Of course, last year, Jordy Ball led the way. And here's another one of the seniors, Devin Flaherty out of Sarasota. Right down Broadway. Four times all ACC. She's been a different player the second half of the season after she barely hit above 200 the first half of the year. Over 400 since.
Was their best hitter last weekend in the regionals, hitting close to 800, battled off She's been clutch, especially down in the order where she's at right now.
Well, they need her to hit for average, but also to get on base because she's a part of that speed game. Obviously not in this situation. This is all about driving runs in, but she's typically one of those Knowles that gets on base and stirs up the defense of their opponents.
Really good against lefties, 375 on the season, and a second conference pitcher-catcher. They've also had one pitch coach pitcher. So some early struggles with the pitch count now for Maxwell, up to 32 here in the first inning.
You can tell she's struggling to grip the ball.
Yeah, and she's backward on her pitch count. Look at that, 17 balls to 15 strikes. Obviously why she's in trouble here.
Swing and a miss from Flaherty. Bases loaded. Tapper, Maxwell's going to have to hurry the backhand to first in time to get her. And Florida State may consider a challenge. No runs in for Florida State. The call at first is out for the third out of the inning. And the umpires consulting. Florida State's not moving.
First base.
So they have asked for a review. Coaches get 2 challenges per game. The umpires can call for their own video review late in games.
Ooh, that is close.
That is so close.
Looks like they get her.
Yeah, you need indisputable evidence to try and change it.
How about that play by Kelly Maxwell, though, to be able to get, this is a base hit off the bat. The lefty with speed. Sid Sanders does a nice job of stretching. Otherwise, she is safe. Good call.
After
Oklahoma starting lineup brought to you by Capital One for the Oklahoma Sooners. Now we highlight their star shortstop, T.R.A. Jennings. 307 career RBIs. That's 5th most in D1 history. Her home run total of 94 is 4th most in the history of the game. And she has moved up a spot into number 2 in the lineup. Patty Gasso lately still shuffling some folks around. Also of note, Riley Boone will get the call there in left field in the 7th spot in the lineup. And they will face Ashton Danley, the lefty freshman out of Winchester, Tennessee. The number 2 recruit in the country coming out of high school. And due to graduation and due to some injuries to other pitchers on the staff, the weight on her shoulders has increased tremendously. And she has accepted that challenge, Schmitty, and watch the ball.
Great athlete. She's played some outfield this year. She's hit some year, but as of late, where she's really been called to pitch in that circle, to be the ace of this club, she's been focusing all on pitching.
The new tradition here of O and then U, with Jada Coleman in that leadoff spot, one of the best leadoffs the game has ever seen. And a member of this senior class that is 34-3 in their NCAA tournament history the last 4 seasons. The only teams that have beaten them: James Madison, UCLA, Florida State. Little flare to Flaherty, 1 down.
Ashton Danley in regionals has been thrown a little bit different than she did in the regular season. She's got a really good off speed as well as down in the zone. She's been using that change of speed significantly. Trying to expand the zone, down with the drop, curveball. She's got that great lefty spin. She's going to be in the mid-60s. She works all those edges of the zone, but it's really that effective off speed is going to be the key for her. And ladies, in the regular season, she threw about 19% changeups. In the regionals, she threw over 30%, really having to mix speeds.
She went 2-0 in the regionals. All three of their wins coming from freshmen. The other was Mimi Gooden. Jennings unloads, deep center, and into the Gasso Garden. Solo home run, T.R.A. Jennings.
T.R. Jennings has the highest fly ball percentage on the team. This is the swing for this pitch. Look at where her hands are, where they get to. This is a changeup down in the zone, right into that swing path. You guys, that's her 4th home run in her last 10 hits, not 10 games, 10 hits. Been on fire.
The power of with her 95th career home run ties her with Lauren Chamberlain for 3rd all-time, behind just Carly Spade and Jocelyn Allo, the all-time leader.
Curtain call, the first inning. Waving to the crowd, the fans. It's a new stadium, jam-packed. How loud it is.
Here's Ella Parker, the outstanding freshman from Los Angeles. There are 2 rookies, she and Cassidy Pickering, both top 5 recruits, both having a massive impact in this lineup.
She's batting 3rd in this lineup. I mean, that says it all, period. How good she's been.
15 hits in her last 9 games. And that includes a 7-game hitting streak.
Home run in the regionals, most outstanding player in the Big 12 tournament.
How open she is, that front foot.
3-1. Nice backhand to Maya Ross. 2 down.
This Oklahoma team so good at beating you in so many different ways, and so smart. They know she is going to be throwing a lot of changeups, so I wouldn't be surprised. A couple of these hitters, big hitters that like changeups, are going to sit change.
And here's the other development right this week. So McKenna Reed, their left-hander with experience, maybe limited this weekend. Their other pitchers don't have a lot of experience, and their rise ball pitcher, Allison Royalty, announced her retirement this week, just prior to the start of this. So they probably spent the last 2 days, right, with the pitching machines on changeups and some curveballs and some drops.
100% showing left side spin.
And down. A lot of down.
Here's Alyssa Burito. She launches one. Back that goes off the wall and left center. Burito trying for 2 and dives in safely. 2 hits, both for extras. And both well struck.
Burito just misses a home run. I mean, this is as picture perfect as it gets with swing. Look at that front foot get down and the power of this. She hits it so hard on a line, it's off the wall. They almost had a shot at her at second base. That's how hard it was hit.
Here's the other freshman, Cassidy Pickering, out of Humble, Texas. Cassidy had 2 home runs in the regional last weekend. Patty Gasso raves about how mature and knowledgeable the two youngsters are as hitters already when they arrived, and how they're sponges trying to soak up information from Patty, and also her son JT Gasso right there next to her, who handles the hitters.
I love the way she said they ask questions. They don't wait for JT to say stuff to them. They're constantly inquiring.
And asking not just coaches, but also their teammates. I mean, when you've got 10 seniors that have done what this senior class has done, they're learning and soaking it all in from all the knowledge around them.
Danley trying to stay composed. She is such a versatile athlete herself, Ashton is. Was also hitting in the lineup the first half of the season, and now with the injuries, they've decided that they want Ashton to just focus on the pitching. And so that's what she's been doing most of the second half of the season. A lot of that out of the bullpen. So this is a rare start for her. Really need her to come through.
Smiling there, thinking about a drag bunt. They're all playing so deep. She saw a chance to get a base hit. But you look at the numbers against what Florida State throws. Changeup and drop off 400 and 335. That both those numbers lead Division I.
And the walk to Pickering. 2 on with 2 outs for Kinsey Hansen. Out of Norco, California. 2 for 8 in the regionals last weekend. And forever a part of OU folklore after her heroics in the Supers last year. You know, each season there's been a scare in this three-peat. Last year's was in the Supers against Clemson. And down 3 runs against the National Player of the Year. Pow!
By the way, 0-2 count. So 2 outs, 0-2. She gets a pitch that she can drive. Biggest moment, by the way, of her career. She's had a ton.
That tied it, and then Jennings won it in extras. And, of course, they would go on to the World Series and win it all.
Kayla Edenfield calling timeout. We've seen 2 now in this inning. You got to remember, Ashton Danley is a freshman. Has never played in an environment like this. Get that heartbeat to slow down a little.
The new Loves Field, a state-of-the-art facility here in Norman. New home for the Sooners. There's the changeup. Got her with that. 1-1.
Oklahoma's so good at picking pitches as well. You could see kind of after that last pitch, Hansen over to her dugout to the coaches. It's okay, I got it.
More the off speed. That one was a little high. And there is already activity and more to come for Florida State's pitching staff. Inside corner. 2-2. That was Mimi Gooden and Emma Wilson starting to loosen up. Kinsey just bashing lefties this year. Waited on the chains, just under it.
She was out in front with her lower half. That's why she's smiling. Is able to just get a piece.
Well, and that's the pitch that Ashton needs to try to bounce in, and it gets in your eyes. You can see it. You can barrel it up, foul it off. You get it down below the knees, it's harder to identify. Again,
I think, too, we're seeing both pitchers here dealing with the humidity and the hot temps tonight. Reaching for rosin, reaching for the dirt. With Burito and Pickering aboard, already a run in on the Jennings solo home run. Full count. Chop to Beecham, and she'll go the short way to step on the bag to end the threat. But a 1-0 lead for Oklahoma.
Tiare Jennings.
Back-to-back jacks for OU. Oklahoma caps off the winningest season in history with a 7th national championship.
The confetti was flying last year for the Sooners for the 3rd year in a row. This rivalry has been such a fun one over the last 5 years. It's actually the 20th meeting all time, 7th in the postseason. They've played 5 times in the Champ Series in 2021 and 2023. Florida State took game 1 in that 2021 series, and then the Sooners rallied for the last 2. And then Oklahoma got the sweep last season, 61-1, the best record of all time. Here's Janai Kerr for the Seminoles, 7, 8, and 9 coming up. Out of Mableton, Georgia, now in her junior season. Janai 2 for 8 in the regionals. Has already overcome an ACL injury in her career. Last 2 seasons has been terrific. A 300-plus hitter. Sanders, good charge at first. 1 down. Tough to get anything through. The fielding percentage for the Seminoles again this year, top 5 in the country. Patty Gasso, or for the Sooners, Patty Gasso puts such an emphasis on that. Here's Amaya Ross out of Jacksonville. .324 on the season for Amaya. She has started in every game this year for Florida State. She's a Seminole legacy. Her dad played football for FSU. Lonnie Alameda loves the fact that Amaya stayed and played. She didn't play a whole lot, didn't start a whole lot her first 2 seasons, but loved being at Florida State, loved this team, and worked her way into the starting lineup this year. Good off speed from Maxwell, 1 and 2. There you see the big jump forward this season.
You can tell these Florida State hitters are prepared for pitches away. All the righties, they know that she's going to be coming outside with that back door. They're kind of leaning for it.
Ross now in front.
That's why I think that off-speed curve has worked so well for Maxwell when she's been able to throw it for a strike, because they see curveball in the location they're looking, and they come out of their shoes. They're about 5 miles an hour ahead of it.
Tight spin and rotation on it. Hard to identify.
Two. a miss. And the throw down, 2 down. First strikeout for Maxwell.
Yeah, and this is when Kelly's at her best. She'll get you to chase out of the zone, and she puts that ball, the high spin rate on it, the drop in velocity, and Kinsey Hansen, one of the best in the business. She trusts her back there. She allows her to drop that into the dirt, gets the swing and miss, first strikeout of the game.
Here's Kennedy Harp in the 9 spot. She's a player that kind of moves around offense and defensively. They'll pinch hit for her. They'll reinsert her in games. 10 plate appearances in the last 10 games. But she does have a couple of hits in her last 7 at-bats. Hit a home run against Notre Dame in the ACC tournament this year. Freshman out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Oh, 2 from Maxwell. Hart doesn't chase.
Much different inning for Maxwell. Head in the count, going right at hitters. Saw her really struggle, go to 3 ball counts, pretty much every hitter, and a couple walks hit batter.
Got over the top of that one. Pickering is there. 1, 2, 3 inning. 1-0 OU. With home runs in the championship series in both games, 2 and 3 to beat the Seminoles. 2022 Tiare Jennings. 5 home runs and a record 15 RBI in that World Series of last year. Jordy Ball, close to perfection, 24 and 2/3 innings without allowing an earned run, hugging it out with Kinsey Hansen to finish it. And now Jennings is still around. Ball and Alo have moved on as they go for the four-peat. This tremendous senior class. It would be number 8 for Patty Gasso, which would tie her with Mike Candrea for second all-time, or excuse me, amongst the coaches, number 1. And this Oklahoma program tied for second with Arizona behind UCLA's 12. Riley Boone, who just made that catch out and left, 8 and 9 coming up. And she's one of those seniors that knows nothing but ending their seasons with a championship and gets hit on the foot. Second free pass for OU.
Second baseman, number 41, Torres.
Here's Elena Torres getting the start at second base tonight. Senior out of Glendale, Arizona.
And I loved her eyes on that potential bunt. And she's looking at the corners, looking at the right field, side of the field. Where am I going to put this bunt down?
She took a strike.
Yeah.
She has 4 sacrifices on the season.
You don't see that a whole lot. OU sacrificing. So many boppers in this lineup. This is the time of year where the leadoff batter on, you want them in scoring position, knowing that the top of the lineup, even your on-deck hitter, is a big home run hitter.
Well, when almost everybody hits 300, right? You don't want to waste the out.
Yeah. Got 4 hitters over 400.
Yeah. Whew. Well, we've already seen the home run ball from Jennings. 45% of the runs scored on the season have been courtesy of the long ball. 28 games this year, they have multiple home runs. They've won all but one of those. One, two, opposite way, and there's a gapper. Back to the wall in the right center. Boom! it 2-0.
Elena Torres has 2 strikes. Watch her wait. Recognizes changeup. Just a beautiful job. Watch her stay back enough. Again, 2 strikes. Being able to find the gap, not just make contact, but with slug to get this all the way into the gap, to the wall, and score another run for the Sooners.
Here's Sydney Sanders with an RBI opportunity. Looking to get back on track. She was hitless in the regional. Just 3 hits in her last 15 games. But another one of those players that can change things with one swing. Launches that right at Mudge. The throw into second. Torres able to dive back in. 1 out, and it's back to the top of the order.
Practically a standing ovation for Sydney Sanders. They know how much she has struggled, and she crushed that. Something to build off of.
Jada popped up her first time up.
Got to be very careful with her with the off speed. She does such a great job of having her body in a bad position, but her hands can still hit it out, can still drive the ball.
Tried to drop down the bump, 1-1.
That's for sure her choice. No way Patty Gasso's giving her a bunt in that situation.
No.
She was 6 for 9 in the regional with a 750 OB. One of their playmakers. Stanley tried to get her to reach. 2-1. One hopper of Flaherty. Side retired, but excuse me, for the second out. Here comes Jennings. They're now out to talk with her young pitcher.
This is when it gets tricky.
Alameda.
Normally, it'd be a no-brainer. Just walk Jennings, one of the best hitters in the country, and it just piles up, though, after her. But I still think the conversation is, look, make her chase. This is the zone we're sitting, and if we have to face a freshman on deck, so be it.
Yep.
And I think, too, it's figuring out what Oklahoma's hunting. It's been very apparent that, you know, they are sitting and seeing change. And, you know, sometimes you just have to figure out if you're going to kind of work a little bit backwards. You're going to work change early, try to elevate pitches, which she doesn't really do a whole lot, but in some way try to expand the zone or get Oklahoma to chase, which they do not do a lot. It's very hard for a freshman pitcher.
One and 0.
Unfortunately for Ashton is that everything that she is throwing high is off speed, which is almost the opposite of what you want.
Yeah. Jennings is better than 400 at the plate with 2 outs and with runners in scoring position.
She got him on the board back in the first inning, just annihilated a changeup that was actually down in the zone, a ball below the knees. That's her wheelhouse. Anything down. Let's be real. Pretty much any pitch she can hit hard.
She is now 7 RBI away from tying Laura Espinosa for 4th all-time. One of the great hitters in the history of the game.
They were never going to give her something to hit.
They'll take their chances with Parker, who grounded out her first time up. Misses low. Parker hitting 600 over her last 7 games with 13 runs batted in. Not as good against lefties this season. Just 242. Speed for a strike.
Watch Jennings be aggressive at first base. Anything in the dirt, she'll try to take second and get in the scoring position. That runner at third base.
Couple of free passes. The RBI double for Alina Torres in the inning. Two and one. Two and two. Patty Castro saying, oh, Ella, that might have been the one. Just it down and in. Jennings will take second base. Two in scoring position now with a 3-2 count for Parker against Stanley. Center field, Harp with room on the edge of the track, side retired.
When you make it Volkswagen of Pompano Beach,
we make it happen.
What a run it's been for Florida State, and they are still on it. 38 wins over the last 5 years, the most behind Oklahoma in the postseason. In the champ finals 3 times in 5 years. Won it all in 2018 with Megan King and Jesse Warren and a young Sydney Sherrill. And there you see the run. Champ, supers, runner-up, regional, runner-up. And what will it be this year? Trying to knock out, I guess it's only fitting, the road for the 3-time defending champs runs through Florida State at some point, and it is tonight. Game 1, best of 3 as we tip off our super regional weekend. Beth Bowens and our Olympic gold medalist Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza. Game 1 of our doubleheader tonight. Head out to Los Angeles for UCLA and Georgia, game 1 of their series. And then a full day Friday, a full day Saturday, if necessaries on Sunday. Our game 2 tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. Back to the top, Mudge, Beecham, and Harding. Kaylee walked and then was thrown out trying to get to third base on a ground ball to the left side. In that first inning when the Seminoles left the bases loaded. One-two pitch. Popped up. Sanders tracks it down. 1 away.
Typical Kelly Maxwell type of hit, jamming you up, getting you to chase through the zone.
Her biggest challenge, though, is going to come with these next 3 hitters.
Yep.
Jason E. Beecham, freshman, numbers that she's had.
Popped up to third, her first time up. top of the lineup, first time they saw Maxwell, they all made Kelly work. Top 4 all had 3-ball counts. Saw a lot of pitches. Look at the counts already up over 50 here in the 3rd inning.
I think Kelly's aware. You can see she's a different pitcher this inning versus last inning when it was the bottom of the order. She understands Beecham and the fact that in one swing she can bring this game 1 run closer. Has to be very careful. Beecham gets anything middle in.
And too far in, hitter. 1 out base runner here for Florida State.
And just to your point, so Beecham, Harding, Edenfield, all of them double-digit home runs, 15, 14, 15 respectively. This is where they do damage, right, with the long ball.
Over half their home runs are these 3.
Ocho reached on a fielder's choice to short back in that 1st inning. Career top 5 in Florida State history in home runs and runs batted in. She is their all-time leader in doubles. There's a thing or two about extra bases. I love what Lonnie Alameda says. Kaylee is that professional hitter that it's see ball, hit ball.
Doesn't want all the information and the analytics. I got this.
Good contact from Harding, and that will reach the wall. Out in left center, Beecham stumbles and falls between 2nd and 3rd and has to dive back into the base.
She might have had a chance to score. This ball found the gap. Kaylee Harding, a beautiful job. Pitch up in the zone, gets to the gap, and all eyes were on Beecham. Because once it hits the wall, she had a chance to get around not just 2nd, but 3rd to score. Trips coming around 2nd. Was lucky to get back, by the way.
So instead of 2nd and 3rd, Seminoles on 1st and 2nd.
Kaylee Harding's yelling at her jokingly, giving her a hard time. Come on, you took my double away.
Exactly. You could see her, she was like, I'm sorry.
Good thing that she's not hurt.
Yeah. So here's Michaela Edenfield with 1 out. Michaela walked in the 1st. That's the 2nd inning tonight that Florida State, usually so chaotic and so strong on the bases. 2nd time tonight they've had an issue between 2nd and 3rd.
Both when Harding hit it, too.
It's outside, 1-1. .43% of Michaela's hits result in a run batted in. Just 4 RBI shy of a 3rd straight 50 ribby season. Very productive career. One of the reasons for their turnaround when she got healthy again, you know, they started out, it was a struggle, and it was a tougher schedule first half of the season. Second half of the season, they finished 28-6. They had more power in their lineup. Their pitching had a lower ERA, and they fought their way into a top 16 seed. Two and two. Look at that through the first 27 and then since.
The home runs. And better yet, the ERA dropping down over a point.
In the dirt, Hansen tries to block, and Florida State ends up getting those 2 bases anyways. So now 2 in scoring position for Michaela. And a full count score. That one a wild pitch.
Pitch clock ran
pitch
down.
clock
So that's
violation.
ball 4.
Ball 4. Michaela saw that and actually started walking before the pitch was delivered.
Could hear the umpire call it.
Yeah.
And honestly, take a look. You can see the clock starting to go down. She's got to split her hands, but she has not. You're right. She's delivering the
She
ball.
almost got hit by the ball.
Well, I was going to say when Beecham fell, it was the silver lining of that is that they really had to pitch to Edenfield because there were runners at first and second. Had the runners been at second and third, they may have pitched around her anyway.
So the second inning tonight that the bases are loaded with Seminoles. Here's Torres. Hit by a pitch in the first. Issa is 6 for 9 on the season with the bases loaded. That includes a grand slam. Oh, 1 pitch. Tap foul, 0-2. Fouled it off her foot.
They're really challenging the lefties on that inner half of the plate, taking advantage of that lefty-lefty matchup.
Another 0-2 to Torres. Waste one away. A hit batter, a single, and a walk, loading the bases. They left them loaded in the first. Now threatening again here in the third. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Maxwell. 2 down.
That's a great curveball. Has a lot of bite on it. Had really worked Torres on the inner half. And then she's going to set up outside with this curveball, run it away. You can see that drop going down. A little bit of an off on that as well. So Torres is out in front of it. So just multi-dimensional Kelly, working on many different plays with many different speeds.
All right, so it's the second time tonight Devin Flaherty has come up with the bases loaded. The ground out back to the pitcher. Maxwell made a terrific play to get her at first base to end the inning. Playing in her 272nd game. Only Skylar Wallace at Florida has played in more amongst active players. Oh, she didn't like that call, 1-1.
Well, that's a tough pitch to get to. I mean, a curveball away, that left on left, that's the best pitch a lefty has against these left-handed batters. That's why they're so dominant against lefties, that ball moving away.
Flaherty delivers, base hit out to right. 1 run is in. The throw to the plate, not in time. Harding slides in safely. And FSU ties it up at 2.
How about this senior, Devin Flaherty? And she was the hottest hitter in the regionals last weekend, had more hits, was up in more clutch situations, up again here with the bases loaded, and I just love the swing path. We had talked about Maxwell trying to get in on the hands. Flaherty, just a nice job staying in close to her body. 2 runs come in, we're tied up.
Senior delivers. And one of the free passes comes in to score. 2-2 here in game one, best of three. The winner goes to the Women's College World Series. These two teams played last year for the national championship. Only one can return to OKC. Kerr skies that shallow right. Pickering is there and makes the catch. It's game on in Norman. Oh, the mayhem underway on the road to the Women's College World Series, which will start next Thursday. This century, there are your leaders. Oklahoma with 7 titles, UCLA with 4. Arizona's got 3 of them, and then Florida and Arizona State with 2 apiece over the last 24 seasons. Sadly, this is the swan song for the Pac-12, their last postseason. They've got 3 teams still in the title chase. The ACC with 2. Duke, one of the teams looking for a first national championship. Big 12's got 4, including 3 of the top 5 seeds, before Oklahoma and Texas leave next year to the SEC and the Southeastern Conference. 7 teams still in the Sweet 16. This is the first game of the weekend. Georgia and UCLA coming up next. That one should be a lot of fun, a lot of power, a lot of big swingers in those lineups. Maya Brady, Charlize Palacios, Sarah Mosley, Jada Kearney.
Sunset Boulevard. You're driving there tonight, you go ahead and look out. Close the sunroof.
It's a good day to be a bopper. It's a little tough to be in the circle.
Yeah, terrific stuff. All we know, I think, so far is that one team in Oklahoma City will be from the SEC. That's because Tennessee and Alabama are going head-to-head in their super regional. Tennessee, one of those teams looking for their first title. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are the only schools that have been there the last 4 years.
Folks got the Wildcats, Arizona down the road.
4, 5, and 6. Burito gives it a ride over Mudge's head and out of the yard. The immediate response for OU.
Wow. Jess, were you allowed to swing on 3-0?
I'll tell you what, this swing right here, give her the green light, because this was right down the middle, and the swing that she had looked like the double in her previous, but just clears the wall out and left. It got out of here in a hurry. Yes. You give your sluggers the green light, 3-0, because that's going to be what they do.
More than one, they are 27-1. And it's Burito and Jennings tonight. They're back in front. Here's Cassidy Pickering.
We talked to Patty Yasso about Burito. She only had 1 hit. She was 1 for 10 last weekend in the regionals. Like, hey, you know, is she all right? Patty laughed and was like, she hit the ball hard every single time. Warning track, working walks. She's like, I didn't even know she only had 1 hit.
Pickering off the glove of Flaherty. Cassidy safe at first.
This ball is smoked. Impressed that Flaherty can get a glove onto it to her backhand. No chance.
Hansen grounded out to third her first time up.
They went away off speed to her and then tried to jam her up in. That was the game plan.
Well, a lot of this is just effective velocity, right? Just, you know you're not going to strike him out. You're just hoping that you can pop him up, roll a soft ground ball, or just get him off time a little bit. But this Oklahoma team is so disciplined. They're very good at identifying pitches. And how about the response, right? A two-spot goes up on the board, and immediately they're right out, capitalizing on opportunities.
Last year's Johnny Bench Award winner is the best catcher in the country.
You can remember, too, this is a Sooner team that's given up more runs than they have the last few years. So giving up 2 runs the last half inning isn't something new. This is something they understand. We have to score a lot of runs.
Top 3 in the country again this year in runs scored, and Hansen draws the walk. 2 on with nobody out. And it's Riley Boone. Fourth freebie.
This is where it's tough decisions for Lonnie Alameda. What do? Her staff, she's got injuries, doesn't have a lot of folks to really call on out of the bullpen.
That's Maddie Balk out there right now. Hey, the NCAA Women's Lacrosse semifinals are tomorrow on ESPNU. At 3 Eastern, it's Florida and Northwestern. Then at 5:30, Syracuse and Boston College. Final comes your way Sunday at noon on ESPN. Yeah, again, no Allison Royalty available for Florida State. Possibly McKenna Reed. On a pitch count, Boone drops down the bunt. Beats it out. The errant throw is going to get a run in. Pickering scores. Boone goes short game.
Just seeing the corner is back. Amaya Ross is going to pick this up. The throw nowhere in the vicinity of Flaherty. It's crossing over the runner. It's another one of those situations where if there was a double bag opportunity for Flaherty potentially to try to catch that ball, but with all that converging over at that single bag, make that catch.
Yeah, you get blown up.
So a single for Boone, and then the throwing error on Ross allows Pickering to score, and a pitching change coming up for the Seminoles. 4-2 Sooners.
Geico can help when you're locked out with their easy app and 24/7 help.
Dad, you don't.
Senior Emma Wilson out of Dallas, Georgia comes on. So from the left-hander to the right-hander here with still nobody out. 2 runs in, 2 on base. Emma, 6 2/3 innings of work in the last month. She does have some postseason experience against Oklahoma at the World Series in 2021. As Ashton Danley is lifted here in the bottom of the 3rd after Florida State had tied the game in the top half of the inning. Alyssa Burito gets the rally started with a solo home run.
This is part of Lonnie Alameda's plan. They're down a couple of their main pitchers, and to be able to mix and match as much as possible.
As she told us this week, it would be pitching strategically. Torres had an RBI double back in the 2nd. Two ducks on the pond here. That's in for a strike from Emma. 2-1.
It's going to work the corners, can throw a little bit of a rise ball changeup. See if they dare try to elevate some pitches, try to get Oklahoma to chase.
Did not throw in the postseason last year. Did throw in the regional loss to Mississippi State back in 2022.
That was a squeeze.
Yeah.
With your catcher at third. Wow. Patty.
Sometimes I think it's opportunity to try something that you might need later on.
Yeah. Especially this part of the lineup that has struggled. Though Torres in this one a double.
Swinging away here. Right back to Wilson. Her only play is to first. They record the out there as Hansen comes in to score. Boone over to third with 1 out. And the third run of the inning in.
First baseman, number 1, Sydney Sanders.
Here comes Sanders. Lined out to left at a well-struck ball her first time up. Was able to hold up.
She wanted that one.
She was diving into that ball.
Pop fly. Torres at short. 2 down. And back to the top of the order, and Jada Coleman 0 for 2 so far. Three times a first-team All-American. Twice on the All-World Series team. Scooped by Edenfield. Good stop.
Great stop.
Nice play, Beecham. Crooks the diamond to get the out, but 3 runs in. Buoyed by Alyssa Burito's back.
Last weekend, how important was her hit home run response after Florida State tied it?
Big, big. I mean, we're trying to get Kelly a little more comfortable. She's been throwing a lot of pitches. 3-0, Burito, I give her the green light. She loves that count, so it was big.
And Coach Tiari Jennings makes that incredible play in the first inning. I mean, we saw her at second base her entire career. Now she's a shortstop. What has she meant to this program?
So much, and it was a hard position to fill, obviously, but she's been doing great, and we're very proud of our defense as much as we are on our offense and our pitching, so we work on it hard. It looked good, I'm sure, from up there, but it's something we expect every day at practice.
Well, thank you so much, Patty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Patty.
Appreciate the time. At 52-6, the number 2 seed in this year's tournament. Patty is your active wins leader. 3rd all-time behind Carol Hutchins and Mike Candrea. How about 6 national championships in the last 10 years and 8 times in the championship series in the last 11 years. Here's Amaya Ross. 8, 9, and then the top. For some perspective, UCLA played for the championship 10 times in 12 years back in the 80s and early 90s. Arizona in the 90s played 8 consecutive years in the championship game when it was just the one game back in those days. As Ross pops it up.
I thought you were going to say when it was just the 2 teams.
Just the 2. Well, for a long time, it seemed that way. Then we went to the championship series and things changed. We had 8 different champions in 10 years to 2015. And then Gasso's Sooners took charge, and their dynasty continues. Well, until somebody stops it, will that be Florida State this weekend? Should be a fun weekend because it's like everybody has a strength and a vulnerability. Texas is the overall #1. But Stanford's always got a chance, right, with Nyjah Kennedy. Duke has been so strong out of the ACC, trying to get to their first World Series. Tennessee, a regular season title in the SEC. So many good stories out there. Florida may be the hottest team in the country right now after winning the SEC tournament and rolling through their regional. That's low to Ross.
And I think that's what's impressive, too, about the success that Oklahoma's had over the last 4, 5, 6 years is that the consistency year in and year out, they've been either winning the national championship or playing for the national championship.
Well, everyone always talks about how hard it is to repeat and the pressure that you feel and the expectation. Obviously, they've done 3 in a row. But this senior class, and we've had them a lot this year, you can tell that weight is heavier now than ever. Wanting to go out on top, knowing that failure is not an option.
Yeah, the expectation.
Full count. Patty had a great phrase when we talked to her this week. She called it excellence every day. And that's the way they wake up in the morning. That's the way they practice. That's the expectation of this fan base and this beautiful new facility.
And every facet of the game. And we talk a lot about their offense, right? Because they had Jocelyn Allo, they had Lauren Chamberlain. You have all these big home run hitters, but they didn't just outbash people, 10-8. They have the best pitching staff in the country, best ERA, best defense. They have never settled.
10th pitch of this at-bat, and Amaya doing some work here.
She struck up on the changeup her last at-bat, and you can tell she's been trying to be late. She does not want to get beat by anything off speed. A lot of foul balls down the right side, or straight back.
Another 3-2 pitch. Walked her.
Great.
Terrific job by Ross, the leadoff aboard.
Great at bat.
Your super regional storylines. Oklahoma has won 16 straight NCAA tournament games. That's tied for the longest ever. A win tonight, they would stand alone. Skylar Wallace has had a fabulous finish to the season for the Florida Gators. 2 unseeded teams are still around. Your stories for the regional weekend. None of those guys were able to advance. All power in the Super. 16 seeds will get it down to 8 to head to the World Series next week. Opposite way, base hit, Harp. 2 on the bottom of the order, providing the spark for the Seminoles, and they bring the tying run to the plate.
Great job. Kennedy Hart, by the way, doesn't usually get a lot of at-bats. She gets hit 4. We talked about them trying to wait longer. Look how long she waits on this curveball on the outside part of the plate. Beautiful job. Hard hit line drive into right field. 2 aboard, nobody out.
Bases loaded in the first, couldn't score. Bases loaded again in the third, they got 2 in. More base runners here. Mudge pops up the bunt, double play.
And this is just textbook bunt defense for Oklahoma. Maxwell going upstairs, inducing the pop-up. Burito seeing it in the air, making the catch, and immediately over to Sid Sanders for that big double play. You see that ball immediately going up. Probably a ball that Mudge does not need to be going after because it's up in the zone. All that energy. So you can see Sid Sanders looking for that next play, obviously picking up the double play. 23rd of the year for Oklahoma. 23rd double play of the year.
Wow, and that's another base running miscue for Florida State. That was the freshman Harp at first. Got too far off the bag and didn't read the pop-up.
You could have 3 offensive errors. If you'd score them that way, that's Florida State has gotten themselves out of innings.
So now a runner on second with 2 outs. And here comes that part of the lineup that can do the damage for the Seminoles. Jason Beecham popped up in the first, was hit by a pitch, scored in the third. Almost hit her. Able to scooch out of the way because she wants to swing.
She's got a pretty one. The ball a long way. Right. Actually, she's probably going to go down the best freshman in Florida State history, the numbers she's had this season.
They are impressive when you look at some of the best they've had.
That's saying something. Jessie Warren, her freshman year, Sydney Sherrill, won a championship, put up some really good numbers, but Beecham over 400, 60 RBIs.
Here are their numbers from their rookie seasons. The red, well, are the leaders. Warren had more home runs, but you see Beecham with the better batting average and the record for RBI. She has the green light on 3-0 too.
As a freshman.
I like it, especially when you're down or tied up, right? Where Burito was tied up.
Opposite way, drifting over is Pickering, and she's there. The double play.
Yeah, I mean, they're in it and they're trying, and you know, this is a great environment, and I couldn't be more excited for our freshmen. It's our whole team in Joe, but our freshmen right now, they're present. They're for sure present. So, you know, when you get geeked up in moments, you do a little bit more. So they'll be better for it. But we've had chances. We've had chances of swinging it, and it's a lot of fun right now.
And Coach, what has Devin Flaherty been doing? That big 2-run RBI single in the third. She's really been hitting well as of late.
Yeah, you know, you go through the ebbs and flows of a season, and to stay consistent is really tough to do. And she's been getting hot as of late, but she works. I mean, she's worked all season long, and she's been tremendous for us. And you know, a lot of really good seniors out here that have gotten a lot of experience under their belt. So I think that she's, you know, Jess, right? She's relaxed because she's been here before. The freshmen are feeling it. So,
right, yeah.
you know, handing off the torch. But incredible, a lot of ball game left. Really excited.
Thank you very much,
Coach.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Lonnie.
Her nickname from back in your day, right?
Oh, yeah.
That started at
Michelle
Stanford when she was an
Schneider.
assistant.
Came up with it because they all called her Lonnie, and the head coach at the time, John Rittman, was like, I need to call her Coach. And they were like, but she's our friend. Schneider was a Spanish minor. She's like, we'll go Spanish with it. Coach up.
She's got a new left fielder out there, Autumn Belvi. And it's Chiari Jennings to lead things off 2, 3, and 4. A 5-2 Oklahoma lead. Game 1, best 2 out of 3. The winner goes to the Women's College World Series. A sweep would be the first ticket punched for one of these two teams. Our Game 2 tomorrow night, 8 Eastern. Still to come tonight, Georgia and UCLA out in Westwood. Game 1 of their series. Jennings, the home run out into the Gasso Garden, and a walk and a stolen base in the second. Titles for these seniors, the 71-game win streak. They're 228 and 14 over the course of their careers.
Incredible. 14 losses in 4 years.
I mean, most players have that in one season. Yeah, for those 4 years.
First time in a decade, plus that they lost a Big 12 series, and they lost 2 of them to Texas on the road and here at home in Bedlam. First time Oklahoma State had won here in over 30 years. Tested, somewhat humbled, they went back to work. And they beat Texas 5-1 in the Big 12 tournament championship game up in Oklahoma City. Wilson delivers low and in, full count. Home runs by Jennings and Alyssa Burito tonight for the Sooners. Popped up, Flaherty back on the grass. 1 down.
I think this year gives a little perspective, right? So they lost a couple Big 12 series, but they showed that they were a little bit human. To me, though, it puts perspective just on how great they've been the last 3 seasons, that they didn't have a oops weekend, that they didn't stub their toe for 4 or 5 games during the year. I mean, to me, that's what's mind-blowing. It just shows how amazing they've been.
Dominant.
Yep.
But how hard it is to do consistently.
Yeah.
You get a weekend of dominance, not a season for the senior class, an entire career. And then you got the freshmen, Ella Parker and Cassidy Pickering, and this next generation learning. Ella batting third in this lineup.
I mean, the respect out in right field. Janai Kerr is almost touching the wall out there. And it all started right after they won their World Series. You know, in retrospect, some people saw it coming, but at the time, the softball earth-shattering transfer of Jordy Ball to leave the program and go back home to Nebraska.
So freshmen get the green light. What do you think?
Yeah, she's already gotten it. Oh, didn't take it.
I think she had it. Maybe. That was the pitch.
Beecham had it. They're both Freshman of the Year candidates. With Keegan Rothrock, the great freshman pitcher at Florida. Flaherty off of her glove and out into right.
Devin Flaherty's been busy at second base. A lot of hard hit balls. One to her right, this one to her left, off the glove. That's the ball with that exit velocity. Takes that extra hop.
Score that a single for Parker, and that'll bring up Burito. A double and a home run tonight for Alyssa. Senior out of Tustin, California. Looking for her 8th 3-hit game of the season as Parker swipes second. Not just the power, but the speed as well.
16 stolen bases for the freshman, and Patty Gasso has talked about how it's sneaky. You think about her as power and not someone that's going to be able to have that speed and easy. She's already popping up out of her slide when the ball gets to her. Her uncle, the manager for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Dave Roberts, has been a huge influence in her life. Patty Gasso has talked about how knowledgeable she was, and all these freshmen coming in, but you've got the manager of the Dodgers and that kind of access.
Yanked foul. Elicits oohs and ahs. Tough to come in here and beat these guys. Home losses in the postseason, a rarity. First at Marita Hines Field next door, and now here at Love's. Burito, way back and gone. Second and 2 at-bats for Alyssa. This one a 2-run shot.
Burito, and this is where we've seen no fly zone. Don't give her anything down, middle in. A double, 2 home runs, all same side of the field, all same location that she has hit out. Burito is swinging the hottest bat for these Sooners.
Number 17, her third multi-home run game this year. And the lead now 7-2 here in the bottom of the 4th. Right back up the middle. Pickering smacks a single. Third time she's been on base tonight. Here comes Kinsey Hansen. A ground out and a walk for Kinsey. Just saw Bonnie Alameda speaking into the walkie-talkie over there. That's something new this year that coaches can use, a digital signaling advice, or your catcher now can often be wearing an IFB in her ear. You can signal what the pitch is. You can also signal to defenders. Can't use it for hitters. Some coaches like to use it a lot, some a little. You'll also see some of the teams wearing watches, or some still going old school with the armbands.
You could see the IFB and Kayla Edenfield when she had the helmet off. It's in her right ear, and I love that. Be able to just basically be right over her shoulder.
Keeps the game moving. (3-1) to Hansen. Kinsey gets a hold of one. That's deep, and that also leaves the park. 2-run blast.
Florida State will be challenging whether the runner left on time for first base.
Mackenzie Hansen does a beautiful job, not just getting to this pitch, but up through it. You see the bat angle, she's below it and up through it. That's why she's able to launch this thing so far and so high.
And now a challenge from Florida State to see if the runner left first base early, which would nullify the scoring here. As Hansen shares some information with her teammates. Can't leave till the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. And that's going to stand.
Yeah.
Home run.
And that's actually right on, played that perfectly, because we've actually seen a lot of runners leave late, like the ball is 2/3 of the way to home plate before they leave.
After further review, the runner on first did leave on time.
Tell Cassidy Pickering it was a big exhale relief, because she did leave. I mean, it was right perfectly when she was supposed to, but you don't know.
No, and then Kenzie Hansen gives her a hug like, thank you for not taking my home run off the board.
6 of the 9 now, courtesy of the home run ball for the Sooners. And a 9-2 lead. 4 straight hits, a couple of singles, a couple of 2-run home runs. And here comes Riley Boone. RBI single for Riley last time up for her.
You know, a lot of people that are not familiar with Florida State just have to keep restating that, you know, this is a club that's very depleted in the bullpen. They don't have a lot of arms to go to, and sometimes you would obviously see pitching changes made in certain situations, but this is a series, and Coach Lonnie Alameda at some point has to save her arms for tomorrow. It's just a tough situation to be in.
Well, Allison Royalty being out for the season. McKenna Reed hasn't pitched quite some time.
Told us she's day-to-day. The youngster Mimi Gooden may get the call tomorrow in game 2. Or they may have to go back to Danley.
Well, and the story for Florida State ultimately has been about their offense. You know, even when they were fully healthy, they missing a huge ace in Catherine Sandercock, who graduated.
Boone draws the walk. It's a team that you can't count out, and over the years they have provided some postseason magic. Well, just the other day in Auburn, against Auburn, they had that huge inning to blow that game open. They are capable of a big inning at the plate.
Well, they've already seen it. I mean, to be able to come into this place, score, tie.
And a couple of offensive mistakes, base running errors. If they hadn't committed those, potentially could have had the lead at one point.
Here's Alina Torres, RBI double in the second.
What's interesting for Patty Gasso is she talked to us about how these 2 spots in the order. So right now, Lena Torres in the 8-hole, Sydney Sanders, who's on deck, Avery Hodge usually in the mix. She said, if we can get one of these 3 to get hot, look out.
Torres, deep fly ball back on the dirt. The catch is made by Belvi. 2 down. That'll bring up Sydney Sanders. A line out to left, the pop up to short. Riley Boone to second, thinking about third. She'll hold. She now represents an 8-run lead. If the Sooners can get her home, The 8-run rule would be in effect for Florida State in their next at-bat.
Everyone's an umpire.
1-1 from Wilson. Sanders outside the bag at third.
All of Sanders' hits in this game have come off the very end of the bat. She had a hard hit to left, just off the end. Otherwise, it probably would have gotten out of here, and then a fly out to short.
Get into the Seminole dugout. Double-digit hits for the 29th time.
That's a good take from Sid Sanders. We've seen her chase that pitch a lot this season, a lot of strikeouts. It's a really good take, usually something up in the zone. She wants to take a hack at it.
Sanders down the line, fair ball. Here comes Boone, headed for home. The throw in and the tag applied after the run scores for the third out of the inning. 10-2 Sooners. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals, presented by Capital One. Hey, the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. The action gets underway a week from today, May 30th at 12 Eastern. Our traditional quadruple header to open up the series live on ESPN. For more information on the 2024 Women's College World Series, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. To the 5th. And they're on their feet at Love's Field. A 10-2 Oklahoma lead. The 8-run rule in effect. Seminoles down to their final 3 outs unless they can get a run in to extend this game. Game 1 of our best 2 out of 3 for a spot in the World Series. And a rematch of last year's championship, won by OU in 2 games. 3, 4, 5 coming up for the Noles. With some hitters that can knock that run rule out in a hurry. Harding had reached on a fielder's choice and then singled and scored in the 3rd. Kelly Maxwell back out there to try and close it out. Looking for her 2nd win of this postseason, the 10th of her NCAA career, the 78th win of her collegiate career.
Keely Harding, the senior, trying to stay alive. This upperclassman done so well in these big moments, keep extending the season. She's reached now in 15 games in a row.
And has been such a versatile talent, all positions on the field except for pitch, catch, and second base over the course of her career. Full count.
This is where we've seen Kelly Maxwell struggles. 3-ball counts to this part of the lineup. Not wanting to give them anything good to hit.
6 free passes in the game already.
3 in that first inning alone. Ball 4.
Another walk and approaching 100 pitches here in just the top of the 5th.
So Harding at first, Michaela Edenfield coming up. Going to get a pinch runner on over at first base. Harding can re-enter. Annie Potter. FSU gets Annie home. They can extend this game. Still to come tonight, game 2 of our doubleheader to open up the Super Regionals. We'll head out to Los Angeles. Courtney Lyle and Danielle Laurie on the call for UCLA, Georgia. And then the action gets underway at noon tomorrow with the 4-seed Florida hosting Baylor.
Kayla Edenfield has yet to see a pitch to hit. She's walked twice. Kind of been around the zone.
Two no. And Hansen wants a chat.
We're going to go after it. The time is now.
Puts Kelly at the 100 pitch mark. Ample opportunities tonight for both sides. 8 of the 9 in the Sooner lineup, 8 of the 9 in the Seminole lineup have been aboard.
There's definitely been a lot of traffic on the bases, that's for sure.
Edenfield goes for it, 2-1.
That's ball 3, but Edenfield, she wants to hit. She's like, I walked twice this game. Let me swing the bat.
Didn't come here to lay up. Non-competitive, 3-1. Freshman Issa Torres on deck. Maxwell misses the mark again. 2 straight walks.
6 walks, 2 hit batters.
Only giving up 2 runs. I mean,
yeah. Only 3 hits. I mean, that's been the saving grace, is that she's been able to limit the offensive production. The double play obviously helping her last inning.
Hannah Core is going to come on. Excuse me, Christina Hartley's going to come on here to run at first. Edenfield can re-enter. So with 2 on and nobody out, Torres has a chance to extend the game. Florida State 1 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position.
Well, this is where there's 3 lefties in a row. It is Flaherty up on deck that had that big hit back in the 3rd.
2-run single. Torres pops it up. Burito under it. One down. From the freshman to the senior, here comes Flaherty. Eight-run rule in effect here in the top of the fifth. Florida State needs to score a run.
2 runs that they have scored have come off of Flaherty's bat. The huge single she had back in the 3rd inning.
Looks like a battery issue, or trading out Hansen's signaling device. Outside corner.
Oh, that's where Hansen's so good at framing that outside pitch. Just the way she moves her body. Just the umpire, a good look at that.
And 2. Flaherty doesn't chase. Couple on walks to Harding and Edenfield. That's Potter and Hartley out there, the pinch runners. Flaherty, slow roller. Maxwell spins, fires to first. Got her, 2 down. Runners advance.
Another good defensive play by Kelly Maxwell, because Flaherty has so much speed getting down the line. Maxwell's going to have to go get this. He's going to spin around. Good job by Lena Torres now over at first base. Make that catch.
So now the Sooners 1 out away from ending this early and taking game 1. Here's Janai Kerr. A ground out and a fly out for Janai tonight. With Potter at third base, Hartley down at second. 2-0. Kerr, base hit back up the middle, and the Seminoles will score a run. And it's now 10-3. And they bought themselves some more time and some more at-bats. Clutch from Janai Kerr.
The 2 walks come back to bite Kelly Maxwell. Nice job from Kerr, and she's just simple. Base hit up the middle, ground ball just past the glove of Maxwell. Trying to keep themselves in this game, buy themselves some more innings, more chances.
More looks at Kelly Maxwell, more opportunities.
Hallie Waycaser will come up now as the pinch hitter in the 8th spot in the lineup. Back-to-back walks to start the inning, and then Janai Kerr, the RBI single up the middle to score Potter. And we will play a 6th inning. Waycaser, the junior from Centerton, Arkansas. Wow. Snagged by Hansen to save a run.
Hansen. I mean, you want to see an athlete? Wow. To be in this position in a squat, watch, she's setting up to go left. She scoots right, stays low. And Kirk could have probably gotten a second, didn't even advance.
Snagged by Travis Wilson down there.
He said, hey, I used to play me a little fast pitch down under.
Hansen again picks one up out of the dirt.
That's what we've seen. Maxwell misses that arm side, not being able to pull that curveball back over even near the plate.
Two. Goes upstairs to get the strikeout.
It's a pepper thing.
Lowe's knows there's nothing like the thrill of finding the best deal. That's why we've got Doorbusters this Memorial Day, happening now while supplies last. Shop Memorial Day Doorbusters before they're gone.
Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. How about the sweet swing of Alyssa Burito, a 3-for-3 night, double off the wall and 2 home runs, a solo shot and a 2-run shot in the 3rd and 4th innings. A big part of the Sooners offense and why they have a 10 spot coming here into the 5th inning. And Burito, the senior, will bat 3rd in this inning, her 3rd multi-home run game this season.
They will face a new pitcher in Maddie Bach, the sophomore from Lancaster, New York. 3 innings of work on the season. She last pitched in mid-April. And here in the bottom of the 5th, Oklahoma will once again flirt with the run rule. They score 1, they can end it. Game 1, best 2 out of 3. Back here tomorrow night, 8 Eastern. A full weekend of Super Regionals on the road to the Women's College World Series. Jada Coleman looking for her first hit of the night. Top of the order here. Draws the walk. So the game winner aboard. And here comes T.R.A. Jennings. Homered in the 1st, walked in the 2nd, popped up in the 4th.
The shortstop, number 23, T.R.A. Jennings.
Kayla Edenfield showing off the glove work as well, seeing some great athletic catching. She has been a leader and a force behind that plate. She calls timeout. I love seeing this. Maddie Bach, you could see it in her eyes as a sophomore. Getting in her face a little bit. Letting her know that she's got this.
One-0 to Jennings. home run earlier, moved into a tie with Lauren Chamberlain, 95 for their careers, third all time. Skies this. Torres, one down. And here comes Ella Parker. Ella 1 for 3, singled and scored her last time up. Oklahoma 1 in the first, a run in the second, 3 more in the third, and then a 5-run fourth. Burito and Hansen both hit 2-run home runs.
Important for Oklahoma to stay patient. Patient and on time. It's going to be challenging for hitters when you're used to seeing 68, 70, and then see lesser velocity. Making adjustments, pitches out of zones.
3-1. Maddie Balk, the third different pitcher tonight for Florida State. Full count.
Talked with Lonnie earlier in the year about Maddie. She's worked a lot in the bullpen every day, going out there, working hard on her stuff, on her tools, knowing that she may not always get called, but waiting for opportunities and just trying to hone her craft as a young pitcher.
It's been 2.5 months.
Yeah.
I mean, just waiting.
Waiting.
And then this.
Ball 4. And that bumps the game winner over into scoring position. And here comes Burito. Back-to-back home runs, her last 2 times up. Also a double in the first.
Well, the zone that she has been crushing. It's been right at the knees, middle in. I think right now they just want strikes from Bach. Let alone a zone.
Down on the dirt, 1-0. Four home runs on the night, all from the right side for OU. Walks to Coleman and Parker. Another one in the dirt, blocked by Edenfield. Two 2-1 to Burito. And now 3-1.
Release point, she just does not want to miss up, and everything has been late.
Bases loaded. 1 out for Cassidy Pickering. And the game winner now at third. Cassidy walked in the first, singled and scored in the third and fourth.
Patty just reminding her freshman, hey, you know, she's struggling to find the strike zone. Do not help her out. A walk is a win.
Run rule is in effect here. They need one more to end it in the bottom of the fifth. Then head into game 2 tomorrow. Best of 3 super regionals all weekend long. 16 sites around the country. 8 sites around the country, 16 teams. And we'll send 8 at math again. Gets me every time. We'll send 8 to the World Series, hopefully sometime on Sunday. Yes. Mother Nature permitting, no doubt. Still to come, Georgia, UCLA. Healthy cut on 2-0. Blocked again by Edenfield.
He had 7 blocks this inning. It's interesting how Pickering is so late on both her swings. It's not that Maddie Baca is necessarily blowing it by her, but Pickering trying to wait as long as possible, making sure it's a strike.
Go again, Buck and Pickering, 3-2. Ball 4, and that'll walk in the winning run for Oklahoma. And a run rule victory here in game 1 for the Sooners, 11-3. Four walks in the inning, and the last one brings Jada Coleman home.
Oklahoma's power showing up. Winning games the way they've won them all year long.